Do you have a great admiration for people who don't even exist? Do you know histories of fake worlds better than you know your own? Do you geek out? If so, geek out with us. Here, now. It's the Geek for All show.
Hi, yeah, it is indeed the Geek for All, and tonight I'm joined by my co-host Winchester.
Hello.
And Lex is with us again.
Hello.
And we're gonna begrudgingly talk through Iron Fist because we said we were gonna do because we of course jinxed everything by doing an episode about how awesome Netflix is, and then Iron Fist came out.
And then they kicked us in the fucking
and then we ate or we're gonna eat them right now. We're gonna eat everything.
We could be talking about Rick and Morty, but we're doing this shit.
Yep, no, Rick and Morty season 3, Szechuan sauce, all could be on the table.
But no, we've got to talk about Iron Fist. Like it's.
So how do you? I'm just gonna jump right to it. How do you fuck up the costume and then not realize that the original costume, which you could have just totally used, would have actually been the greatest tool for you to get around the fact that the guy that you hired to be a kung fu master can't do kung fu to save his life?
This show accomplished something amazing, which is they fucked up the costume and they didn't at the same time. It was just like, hey, look at this footage of the original Iron Fist. Wouldn't it be sick if that outfit was on Danny, because that's his outfit? But nah, we're not going to do that. Have his Gap clothing wear, whatever.
He's got to look trendy. Guys, he's got to look trendy. That mask is just gross.
What did Carrie Ann Moss's character call him? A homeless hipster.
Homeless hipster, yeah.
And that's what it was. He's got that homeless hipster chic going on.
Yeah. Even when they dress him in a suit, it's just like he does like the open collar, no tie thing, like
with gym shoes.
I'm like,
with Converses. I saw the Converses and I want to punch a hole in my screen.
Get some goddamn loafers, you classless piece of shit.
Yeah.
Get it together, you rich motherfucker.
I came here dead set to defend this show, and the more I'm thinking about what we could be talking about, the more I'm just getting upset with Iron Fist. Fuck this show, man.
Okay, so So it's a show about kung fu.
We're trying so hard
not to just like say fuck it and actually give our reasons here, because it's, you know what? And honestly, all right, let's start from the opposite, because we have to build towards something.
Yeah.
So let's start with what's actually salvageable about this show, in that the story is not terrible. The story is like good enough that it's like, followable to some degree, and
well, that's because they didn't show us shit.
It's I will use this word over and over and over again, and this is the word I used earlier: mediocre.
Mediocre, yeah.
Not up to the par of what we've experienced from Netflix and Marvel in the past.
Like the coolest parts of Iron Fist lore, we spent 4 or 5 episodes on corporate espionage.
Right. They wanted to be Daredevil, but not really wanted to be Daredevil.
Which I don't understand. Like, if you're gonna...
But
Daredevil had awesome fucking choreography.
Exactly.
Like,
good. Okay, we're gonna keep ripping into it. So let's focus on some of the good, like Carrie Ann Moss.
Yeah, she killed it.
Yeah. She was great. She was fantastic. Right. No, I was super happy to... No, actually...
It was like the adult that came in the
You know
room.
what? You know what's good about this show? Everything that was a setup for the Defenders was good about this show.
Yes.
Everything else...
Oh, shit, you're right. This is Iron Man 2 all over again.
Yes. That's exactly what it is.
That is precisely what's going on here.
Yeah, you're setting up for the group show, and that's about it. And that's what it feels like, is that it was... I think that's the big thing, is that it feels so rushed. to get this movie in so that they could set up for Defenders.
Yep.
That you didn't give this show what it should
Yeah, no,
have had, the time it should have had.
Yeah, in either development or in pacing, honestly, like,
Yeah.
they just were like, well, no, we've got so much to get through. Like, okay, you could have gotten through half of the story and started the Defenders and had him kind of like just worked in on the side. He doesn't have to be like the main Defender. Like
No.
the Defenders can kind of be getting together while he's still figuring his shit out.
We
Like
already have main
that's
Yeah, we already have main Defenders.
I
They already
really-
have shows.
I really can't tell you what he adds to the group. Like, just looking at it, Luke Cage, all right, he's your shield. You know,
Yeah,
put
he's
him
your
on
tank.
first.
Yeah, he's your
Tank.
tank.
Yeah, he's your tank. You know, you've got Jessica. She's the brains. Like, I mean, she's the streetwise. Like, she's your rogue.
Yeah.
No, Matt and Jessica are DPS, like straight up.
Definitely.
And Iron Fist actually in many ways should kind of be utility because he's got like that one big punch out thing, but otherwise he can kind of like crowd control and shit like that. That's at least what he's supposed to be able to do.
Right. You look at the comics and all the shit Iron Fist can do with his fist. And, I mean, I guess. And he barely does any of it. Like, a dude has to tell him he can heal. Do you know? Ugh.
It was very much an origin story without the origin.
Right? Like what? And actually, like I brought this up earlier, but I'm gonna say it again for the audience. Like they continuously show him with PTSD, and yet he beat people who were born in Shangri-La to become the immortal Iron Fist.
Yeah.
How? He's like damaged mentally and spiritually, and the spiritually part is kind of like the key element here, really. And yet becomes like this grand champion defender of a place that's not even really his home.
No.
And then he gets to leave and keep the power, and then break his oath, and then keep the Actually, leaving was already breaking his oath, and then he breaks it again by sleeping with a chick, because he's supposed to be like, he's supposed to have a vow of celibacy, and nothing What is going on? Where is the meta even in this show? Like, and really, like, they could have done an actual, what if he didn't achieve the Iron Fist at first? Or thought he hadn't, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And he gets to go back home like, oh, I failed my trials, but I learned so much. And he doesn't have the Iron Fist power and stuff, but he unveils the hand in New York and does and at the very end of it, no, this was the final test, and now you have been given the Iron Fist, where you shall defend not only Shangri-La, but the world at large from the hands, blah, 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 blah.
Nope.
Why was that not the show? Why did I
wanna
in a
watch
rant
that show.
right here just write a better fucking show?
It was, and I think that's what a lot of why we're disappointed. It was a lot of build-up to nothing. Even seeing when he would do, okay, so in the beginning, the very first fight scene we see him in is in the lobby of the office, and he does this very, I'm not gonna say fluid because that's not true, but it's a very defensive type of martial arts where it's like he doesn't actually hit anyone. He uses everyone's energy and everyone's force against themselves. Right. And at first I was like, oh, cool. It's because I'm not familiar with Iron Fist and generally at all, but I thrive on the fighters that are very pacifist sometimes, especially those that know they have great power. And I was like, oh, cool. He's going to be very passive and he's going to be very, flowing river, I use your force against you, kind of like Spike Spiegel kind of fighting. And then he holds a gun to some dude's head later in that episode. And you're like, I don't know why you're a kung fu master, because you're very much unhinged.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so we get these small moments of him flipping over a taxi. Like he jumps over this taxi. And I'm like, why'd you show me that? It was awful.
You can basically see the streaks.
Right?
Yeah.
And like his hand glows, and I'm like, cool. And I'm waiting for that hallway scene from Dare. I'm waiting for the hallway scene where we get to see his true abilities.
Because you would think that since we have like an uninterrupted shot action sequence a great caliber in one of the other shows that in the one about martial arts in particular, you get like a fight, like fuck, it's gonna be like twice as long as that first hallway scene.
Right.
And it's gonna be even more epic, and
gonna
we're like
have
taking
magic
even
in it.
more pages
Right.
out of like Ip and stuff, and like it's just gonna be fucking. No.
No, we even get a hallway fight scene, and it's lame as hell.
As I was watching it, I was like, this isn't the hallway fight, right? Like,
Right.
is this
No.
is this the hallway? No. Yeah, is that it? And then a couple of episodes later, I realized, oh my god, that was it. That was their excuse for the hallway fight.
Right.
That is bullshit.
Or even, like,
First
an
of all, the
elevator
elevator
fight.
stuff that was going on was more interesting during that whole fight than the
Absolutely.
actual hallway stuff. And that still had a bunch of cut. There's one scene in particular, the one where he's burning all the evidence. I don't know if you got there.
I haven't gotten that
Yeah,
far
because
yet.
you didn't watch all of it. I didn't even
I
watch
couldn't
all
bring
of it.
myself to watch all of it.
Alexa's the only one who made it through the whole
I
fucking
made it
thing.
through. I can't remember it though. I found better TV, but
And but it's the scene he's looking for evidence, and then somebody else is there to burn the evidence.
Oh,
and-
yes, I did get that far.
Okay,
I did get that far,
So
yes.
somebody analyzed it. There's something like 65 like camera cuts in like that
Yeah, I believe
5-minute
it.
fight scene.
Yeah, I believe it.
That, you know, if this show is monumental for anything as far as like keeping to kung fu traditions, it's Americans ruining kung fu movies.
Right. Yes.
I would have much preferred if they needed more time with Iron Fist. I would have much preferred Defenders to come out before Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Right? Just don't include him in Iron Fist.
Just introduce us to him there.
Also, when the fuck does this whole thing take place? Because there's some things in my head that just are not making sense based on that first episode. When does he have that conversation with Luke Cage in the bar
I never
where
really
you
checked
first
it.
see him? What is going on? When could that have possibly happened? Because he just gets to New York. And, like, obviously there was something that happened with Luke, because he's like, hey, man, if you ever need anything, like, yeah, like, they're obviously like, bro, how did those two become, like, bros?
Right. It was kind of like the after scenes in the Marvel movies that line up, but if it didn't line up, where you're like,
Right.
I don't know where this is supposed to.
And it
fit
was
in.
in the middle, and it wasn't in Luke Cage. It was in Luke Cage's bar in Jessica Jones.
But still,
Okay.
the timeline
It doesn't make sense.
doesn't make sense.
And Luke is definitely in jail and sending letters to Night Nurse. So,
Yeah.
what? What is happening? I mean, it's one small detail. I mean, I think I know what's happening. I think they forgot they wrote that part.
Probably.
I think they
Yeah.
forgot
Or somebody
that thing
else wrote
exists,
it.
or that somebody else wrote it. But how do you not track? Like, hey, has our star been in any of the other shows that were making this?
Or you'd think he would remember. Like,
I mean, actually, you know what? I'm not giving him credit, like, on anything. Like, he looks kind of dumb, to be perfectly honest. Like, he looks a little bit like he doesn't totally know what's going on. Like, hey, guys, how's it? He looks like a lab. He looks like
He
a
does.
lab.
gold
He
lab.
just
He
a golden
does.
retriever kind of, like,
kinda
just like,
shows up.
hi, how's it going? How you doing? Yeah.
I mean, really, what it comes down to for me is when you watch Daredevil, you feel that the people doing this
Yeah.
cared about Daredevil. Like, they're
Yeah.
just like, we're gonna make you see why this is a great character. And the same thing was true with Jessica Jones. Like, the people behind it were passionate. There's a story to tell with that. People with Luke Cage are passionate. There's a story to tell there. It just feels like they were like, okay, we promised Iron Fist, so let's make an Iron Fist show so we could do Defenders already, and just it really sucks. And it feels like they just assumed this was gonna be a hit because it was Marvel Netflix.
yeah.
And I think that's what everybody kind of assumed. Like, Marvel Netflix can't do any wrong. I know that's what I felt like. It just this found every possible way to suck.
They failed their own test because they're the ones that set the bar, and
They did not meet it at all.
No, it's not even close. It's
Like, this has me a little afraid for Punisher. Like, if it weren't for the fact that John Berthel just is
you know
that
what
character.
okay,
Yeah.
you know what? Here's why Punisher, I think. I might be lying to myself, but here's why I think Punisher
It's
will
that
be
optimism.
okay. I think it'll be okay because he's not necessarily going to be a part of the Defenders. Like, he's not scheduled for the first part of, like, the Defenders, like, this first
True.
series.
Yeah.
He's not even scheduled for, like, the second series because the second series isn't even scheduled or anything yet. So if he's not in Defenders for a little while anyway, or is only going to make like guest appearances, there's no rush
To make
when it
this stuff,
comes to
right.
Punisher. They've got the Defenders, they've got all the other stuff that they can screw up and take and like, you know, like go to the bank with and everything, or try to. And then they can do Punisher right. I really hope that's the philosophy that they're gonna fucking take, because
I want to live in that world, man.
Yeah.
I believe.
Otherwise, they just churn
While you were
shit
talking,
out
I'm like,
and don't
yeah.
give a shit.
But yeah,
It was
Yeah.
just, it was very hard to care and understand everyone's motivations. Like with Daredevil, I cared about, we had talked about this a little bit earlier, that I cared about Nelson and Murdoch. They were the underdogs. They were fighting the good fight. Justice is blind, and, you know, I'm this underdog from Hell's Kitchen. Like, I cared about those people. I cared about what they were doing. I could give two fucking shits about these rich people and their fucking problems.
I did care. Oh, I'm gonna fuck his name up. I think I did care a little bit about
Ward.
the
The brother.
Lord. Yeah, cool. I did care. I did care about him a little bit. I mean, just and only one part of it is the drug addiction and dealing with the overbearing pops. Like, I was like, yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he was by far the most interesting character. His father was the next most interesting character, and then everyone else is kind of eh.
It's just bland.
You know what was good? You know what was actually a good moment, and it wasn't because the guy who did the drunken master stuff.
Oh, yeah.
In that one episode, you didn't
I
get
didn't
there,
get that far.
but that was good. And he was actually up for the role of Danny Rand, but they really wanted to stick with like the white dude, which again I actually understand that,
I get it.
because like source material and everything. But I'm almost sitting there like, fuck source material. Because he was fun. He was so much fun in just that scene alone. Like, he was like 10 times a better actor than the other dude was. And I was actually like, oh my god, he knows what he's doing. Holy fucking shit. It's actually Drunken Master. You never actually see Drunken Master. Well, I mean, you do all the time because it's Jackie Chan,
Right.
but like,
He does it very well.
But you know, you don't outside of him, like Americans
You don't see
don't
it in a
see it a whole lot. And it was awesome to fucking see it because it's one of my favorite styles, because I think it's fucking hilarious. It's
That whole
Instead
segment.
we get this Bruce Lee wannabe that I just I can't. It's awful.
That whole segment with the Iron Fist going against the Hand in the like formal battle, I was so geeked on it. Like that was a scene that I enjoyed in this show. I'm trying to find something.
there's a few moments.
There are
There's
a
the thing.
few,
There's
yeah.
Like
there's
him going
bits.
against the poison chick. Like
Yes.
I was down for that.
Yes, that was. But
And then again, everything about this show that is good, they immediately attach the shit. There's this whole they break down the lore where the Iron Fist has a formal tournament against the Hand, and the Iron Fist gets to ask anything of the Hand that he wants if he wins, and vice versa for the Hand. And it's just like he goes through and he's barely beating these people in some really shitty choreographed fights, but the everything about the scene makes it tolerable, because you're like, okay, the fights are terrible, but let's see what happens. And he barely finds a way to win, and the Hand like captured, like they have like hostage. They're like, we'll kill the hostage if you don't say you lose. And I'm like, why did they start with that? Like, you
Why
got
even
me
bother with this shit?
right.
No,
You got me really hyped and excited.
Like,
And,
yeah. What's the point then?
there were a lot of things like that where it was just like, that's the thing, like the overall story was good. The writing of individual episodes and moments and the dialogue was just fucking weird and all over the place, and
It was very much all over the place.
like it felt like somebody had written a decent story, but like at that point they'd been like, and somehow like the Hand tricks him into losing, and then it was handed off to a writing staff and went, well, he wins, but then they hold the hostage.
and then he has to give up. Oh, we did it.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
little nugget enjoyment that scene gave me is, I believe it was called the Kumite. I don't know if you guys like Boondocks with the
No.
Killer Kung Fu Wolf bitch who went to Kumite, and every time they say Kumite in the Boondocks, there's the sound effect of, oh! I was watching
that would have
Iron.
made this better.
Yeah, as I was watching Iron Fist, talking about like we're gonna meet at the Kuma table. Bad serious, and in my head I just go, voila!
I think that would have made this show way better.
There you go. That's one way to take some honey with your medicine.
Yeah, no. If you have a preferred substance choice, I would recommend taking a lot of it for this show, because it is a brutal one to get through. I mean, like, the fact of the matter is that what I'm really disappointed about is all these other things aside, the lack of research that went into martial arts for making this is, like, even if the choreography had been bad because you wound up with a bad actor, and even if the writing staff had kind of gotten goofed up for one reason, even if there was like a million reasons, like, you know, as far as like, you know, studio interference and blah 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 blah, that makes sense. There is no excuse for a lack of research being done by the writers when it comes to the subject content that is like the main subject content of what they're doing. And that's what happened. Like, it wasn't even that it was just like, oh, like they were close, but they kind of confused. It was just poorly. It was like done from somebody who had watched a bunch of bad kung fu movies. Like, I'm sorry, badly dubbed kung fu movies in college, and was just like, yeah, man, no, I know all about that stuff. And, like, you know, like there was one scene where I thought, oh, they're gonna do something like right here, and it's where she says, stop doing that, like, I think she says Ta Wang shit, with my katana, which I appreciated because I hate it when people flip katanas in movies and shit, because it's like, not how that's supposed to be used. That's not how you're supposed to use that weapon. It's not meant to be and so I thought, like, okay, so she's gonna like show him like how this fucking shit really, like, she's just gonna like bat him off and get him at all of the different angles and show him that like how a forward driving momentum will really just ultimately, no. Flashiest, most bullshittery, like, kind of actually not even like totally authenticated by like masters of Japanese sword. They're like, there's a legend about a dude doing a move like this, but we don't really know if that ever worked or anybody actually did this shit. Like, and especially that over the head shit. That over the head shit is just the worst. Why would you put your sword in your backhand over your head? Well, there'll be more momentum. You're going to get stabbed before then.
You know, you just reminded me, like, this show has the tendency of having the characters bring up their oath. Like, I swore this oath and I live by it, so I can't do this thing.
I live by this
that
code.
I'm literally about to do next scene. Like, she kept bringing up, like, the scene I'm thinking about is she's talking with one of her students.
Yes.
She's like, don't you dishonor yourself by fighting for money. That goes against our Bushido code. Legit next scene.
She joins a fight club.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Daddy's just like, I can't date or have sex because that's against my Iron Fist code. Then he ends up fucking. It's just like everybody has this thing that they say that they don't do, and then they do that thing. It's ridiculous. Ugh.
Yeah, no, they're super inconsistent about their meta. Not only like their meta within like the power standpoints of like why has he not for so many reasons lost the Iron Fist. Like, just character stuff. Like, it's like you're playing like an RPG or whatever, and you've got this flaw written about your character, and like you just never pay attention to the fact that flaw
Right.
is written, and just like,
Or you change it.
yeah.
You change
Like,
it every time.
how does some dude in the hand who has a really shitty quality 15-minute video of an Iron Fist know more about Iron Fisting than the Iron Fist knows how to Iron Fist?
I'm telling you that because they keep mentioning timelines, and that was another thing. Like, they kept mentioning timelines, like the father, who we keep forgetting his name.
Harold?
Yeah, Harold. 'Cause Harold had been dead for 12 years, which makes his kids 25 and 30.
No, sorry, I think I know where you're going with this.
And like, I feel like everyone's fucking lying to me about the almost decade and a half that this shit has been going on for, because it doesn't make sense. Like, Colleen's supposed to be a black belt master in her shit, and she's got some of the sloppiest shit I have ever seen. Danny's supposed to be this kung fu master from this mystic land and has been gone for a decade and a half. And It makes me so angry because this shit, like, they aren't. They're supposed to be these masters of their own world, whether it's business or martial arts, and none of them know what the fuck they're doing.
Okay, that's that's not what I was saying. I thought you were talking about how like the dad's been dead for 20 years, and then, hey, world, I'm back. Like, I know I died, but
Yeah, but
don't
no,
worry about it,
never
fam.
mind,
We
I'm
good.
Good. I'm good.
Oh, also, daddy's back from the dead. Like, everybody's just
That's
popping.
true.
Is anybody
Everyone's
gonna
just
get a
popping
little
up.
suspicious? Like, that's
You
not
would
gonna
think.
make Tony start go. My competition is just kind of wilding out there. Let me go see what's going on. Like,
Yeah, you would think.
nothing.
No.
Shield's not on this at all.
No. Not at all.
You'd think that Coulson would kind of be like, hey.
People keep popping up from the dead. I mean, I'm not one to talk, but
Yeah, of all people. Coulson's not allowed to talk about that. Yeah, it's very much, I sat through the first 3 episodes going, why? I don't care. And the motivations of each character just kept changing. Like, there was all this, like, Joy proved that he was Danny, and etc. And that's great in the beginning, but then, like, she backstabs her brother, but is super loyal to her brother. And, like...
There's just, like, it seems like the character continuity just changes based on what they need to have happen
That's
in the
exactly
scene.
it.
And, yeah, no, it's...
there is one thing about this show that remained completely consistent from episode 1 to episode 13, I think.
Yeah.
And it's that Daddy is a fucking moron. Whenever anybody goes, Daddy, don't do that thing, Danny's already done that.
I'm gonna
thing.
do the thing. I'm gonna do the thing.
And it'd be
That
one...
is the entire show.
That is the show, Danny. Don't do. Oh, he did it.
And it'd be one thing if he was a little naive because he's been not in the real world for 15 years, and when he quote unquote died, he was, we're assuming 12,
Something
early,
along those lines.
not yet a teenager. So he's been living amongst monks and, like, not a whole lot of social interaction. So him being a little naive, especially when it comes to, like, business practices, would make sense. But he doesn't have any of that innocence. He does the naive bullshit, and then he goes off the fucking deep end. And you're like, are you Batman? Are you? I don't.
Yeah,
don't
the show
understand. I don't get
just
it.
didn't know what it wanted
Wanted.
to be, and
No.
it was very simple what it needed to be. You needed to be a kung fu
Yeah.
flick. That's it. That's all you need. Like I was talking about before. Like he shows up in New York, and his old master's enemies are there, and so he investigates and then finds out stuff, and then it was actually the last time. That's it. That's all this show had to be. Like, I don't understand how this was so hard to screw up. Like, yes, we expected more depth than that, but you know
Right.
what? We would have been okay if that's all it had been. We've been like,
It would've been
well,
fine.
this doesn't quite pan up to like Jessica Jones or blah, 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 blah.
It didn't need to.
But we wouldn't fucking be sitting here just like, guys,
about it.
what the fuck?
I think that's another problem Iron Fist had, which is when Daredevil came out, Daredevil did his own thing, Jessica Jones did her own thing, Luke Cage did his own thing. Like, this show tries to bite the style of each one of
Yes.
those. Like, it has the Jessica Jones investigations.
Right down to the fucking iPod.
Exactly. Like, and then all of a sudden some, like, Luke Cage quality hip-hop
Pop. Yes,
is
the
constantly
music.
being paid. Like, dude, don't. I can't believe it.
It kept
A
trying.
little rich kid
Yeah.
just bumping just the most gangsters of
Yes.
hip hop songs, really? Like,
Yes. It kept wanting to be all of the successful shows that it turned out not to have an identity of its own.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's the problem with Iron Fist. You think back on it, it's just like, what do you leave with? It was kind of nothing.
Nothing.
I'm left with, I really hope they don't fuck Defenders up. That's
Right?
what I'm left with.
I kept wanting, like, a Doctor Strange type story. And I was like, this is not Doctor Strange, but at the same time, like, boiled down, kind of.
And that's the thing. He was supposed to be the Doctor Strange equivalent,
Right.
Because, like, weirdly enough, Matt Murdock is sort of the Tony Stark equivalent in the Defenders.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Less rich, but yes.
Yeah,
I get
except for
it.
the fact that Danny is actually the guy
The
who
rich,
funds it.
yeah.
Except they don't need much funding because they're all like,
We got our shit.
Yeah, exactly. So there's not much funding to be
I mean,
had
you gonna
anyway.
run out of money, keep getting Luke Cage hoodies. And can I just say, I love the fact It's just a bulletproof black dude. And it just shows
Yes.
how often motherfuckers get me shot.
Yes. Yes. There's
Yeah,
something to say about that. That's very true.
That alone was impressive because of that. How much we got to deal with that kind of shit.
It's very true.
All right, you know what? We've got like at least another 10 minutes that we can do here. I feel like we've talked to death about Iron Fist, and there was something that was getting in the way of, and fuck it, I don't care if it doesn't make any sense. Let's talk Rick and Morty, because goddamn
I want that sauce, Morty. Give me that.
Give me that fucking sauce. So, also, during April 1st, fucking Rick and Morty in the way that they would, not even on like a broadcast or anything, or like on like specifically like the Adult Swim like Facebook page. No, on other weird ass like just like bizarre like, hey, we're just gonna give it to you guys to stream all day. They streamed the first episode of season 3, which so Rick is locked up. And the family is now living life in the like Galactic Federation type of situation. So it's not like, Gene Roddenberry's Galactic Federation. It's more like an Orwellian nightmare.
Here's your pills.
Here's your pills. No, everything. Their food and medication is all just like just a tray of pills. Like that's just what people ingest. And there are robots to make sure that they, like, I have detected that you are slightly sad. Take this.
Yeah.
Adjust your levels. Ha!
I never knew how badly I needed to have the experience of having Nathan Fillion imitate Rick. Like, I didn't know I needed that in my life, but I got it, and it filled a little bit of this hole right here. Like,
no, he did a really great job, because he got started as like an interrogator who's trying to interrogate Rick in his own mind. And we find out that Rick has like a great deal more control over his thoughts than he's supposed to be able to. And he comes up with this bizarre backstory that turns out to not be true, but it's unclear as to how he developed it exactly. And part of it is that, like, specifically in his like fake memory, he went to McDonald's back in 1997 when Mulan was coming out and got nuggets with the special Szechuan dipping sauce. And like it seems like a total side note until later he's screaming at Morty about the fact that the only reason that he travels through dimensions is to find more of that dipping sauce because they stopped making it, and he doesn't give a fuck about his family or anything like that. And if he and now that the other two like him, if Morty ever tries to tell them that he's having this conversation,
I'm a hero, Morty.
they think I'm a hero, Morty. I'll get that fucking dipping sauce, Morty. If it takes 9 fucking seasons, 87 years, I'll get that fucking dipping sauce.
There's just so much about this episode. Just so many tiny, beautiful nuggets that if you go back and you watch it, like in the beginning, he leaves the interrogating alien in his head, alongside his fear of wicker furniture and his improv classes. Comedy comes in threes. And then every time he jumps into somebody's body, at some point he goes, I gotta take a shit. And he does it 3 times. It's fucking beautiful. It's just...
Dan Hartman is so good for that kind of shit, dude. Oh, man. No, and here's what's great. So the Szechuan sauce becomes, of course, like this huge joke.
I feel so bad for anybody working at McDonald's right now.
Oh,
how many shitty Rick impersonations do you think that they've heard?
Oh, so just people just walking up like at 3 a.m. They're drunk as fuck, just like, give me your fucking Szechuan sauce, you fucking asshole. Just give me that goddamn sauce. I know you fucking have it, you piece of shit.
Oh my God.
But here's what's truly amazing about it, though. So I don't know which one of these things happened first, because they happened almost simultaneously. Somebody started a petition to get the sauce back, and either before or after this, so it's either in response to the petition starting or in response just to the Rick and Morty episode. And I don't know which, because it was, again, practically the same time. But McDonald's tweeted, at Rick and Morty, McNuggalubadubdub. So Rick and Morty might have just brought Szechuan sauce back to McDonald's by doing a joke
So
just
fucked.
doing a bit, and it's funny, the timing on it's hilarious because they're doing that live Mulan action movie.
Yeah,
It's been cast, like they're starting to film and everything. So Szechuan sauce coming back out may have already been like on the table for them anyway, and now this happened. And they're like, well, I guess we got to do it fucking now.
Yeah, commit to it
now. Like,
think of the power of that though. Like, what else could they bring back?
I don't know.
Like,
but
did
this
they-
show nobody had heard of Rick and Morty when I started watching Rick and Morty. Like, it was season 2, and like a handful of people knew it, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. They showed it to me, and then it was like one of those things. Like a month or two afterward, I just start seeing more and more stuff, and now that we've been on like almost a 2-year hiatus, like it's gotten to the point where like, yeah. When did this show get this popular? What the fuck happened? Do you have to just like not have a show on for a couple of years in order for it to get popular? I think that might be the formula. I think you might just have to like, all right, we're gonna do a season and then we're gonna not bring it back for like 3 years.
Well, look at Arrested Development.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
that's-
No, okay.
yeah.
So you got Arrested Development. You've got the fucking Venture Brothers.
Yep.
Like there's so many
hold
shows.
On. The Venture Brothers is coming back?
No. Okay, hang on. Sorry. Not as far as like an actual comment, but think about how many times they've been on hiatus, and then come back, and how that has kind of helped the longevity. It just like we're gonna come back with more. It'll be back in just a little bit. You just hang on there just a little bit, and we'll be right back.
It's human nature to be thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the hype if Firefly came back.
Oh my god.
I don't.
Shit would break.
Yeah, no, I don't want them to do it now. No, everyone's too old, and
They'd have to do an animated. Either an animated or a new crew.
animated new crew, or after Serenity, which I don't really want to watch. So
I would watch that. I would watch like where these guys at now. I trust.
Well,
we.
I'd watch a special. I'd watch like
Okay.
a movie or like a TV special of that. I would not watch a whole show of Where Are They Now? Like
No,
that
it
would
would
get
get
old
old.
really fast.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know. Like I think there's something about like older characters now that's just kind of. It's all stemming from like Logan. Just like
It's all the
seeing.
nostalgia
I just
feel.
want to see a beat up old version of my favorite
Could
character.
you imagine? Yeah, Mal.
See, Mal is an old beat up dude.
Yeah,
Actually,
He'd be so angry.
it'd be really good.
He'd be so angry.
Even if it's just him, like I know that.
I mean, no,
Tooling around in Serenity by himself.
To be perfectly honest, I think you'd almost have to do it where somehow it's him. I think River, because there's
Him and River.
because he's not dishing.
Let's
her.
just
No.
put them in an old man Logan.
But it
Yeah,
could-
pretty much.
No, seriously.
But that's
actually-
kind of how Serenity ended. Was that they were
I mean, but he's gonna obviously hook up with
Inara.
and. But I think if you're gonna do like old beat up Malcolm Reynolds, Inara's got to be dead.
Yeah, that you can't really separate them. The Serenity kind of proved that you can't. She can kind of fuck off and go do her own thing a little bit, but eventually they're gonna come back together. Like they're just that like constantly orbiting kind of couple.
So for him to be that miserable, like
Yeah,
she'd
she
have
has
to
to
be out
dead.
of the picture.
Yeah, just completely out of the picture. And then Zoe would have to have the kid who would be older.
Well, and she probably would have left the ship
She
because
would've
she
left the
has
ship.
the kid. So you'd get like probably the.
I really want this now. Like the more we're talking, the
Oh,
more
this would actually be really no, because now I'm thinking about it. Okay,
And, like,
so
Kaylee
you
and Simon
start
got
you
together.
start with him like River bugging him about Zoe's birthday.
Yeah.
And like just like no, we're not going there. And like she just turns the ship around because like Mal can't fucking fly.
Right.
So like she's just like no, that's where we're going. Fuck you in
Exactly.
River fashion. And so then they land on the planet and then like da 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 da. Oh, where are you going with your life? Blah blah blah. Then they take off and Zoe's son has like snuck
Snuck
aboard
aboard.
and everything. And then they
Yes.
go off on some kind of bullshittery adventure.
fund it.
Fund it!
Make this a thing.
Somebody get the fuck on this. Holy shit, this is a good idea.
To be
See,
fair,
even
most
talking
of them
about
aren't doing
this-
a whole lot.
Talking
so.
about this thing that doesn't exist has me more emotionally invested than Iron Fist.
Well, it's a lot of that like Marvel fatigue that I get. I get a lot of Marvel fatigue when they keep releasing. It was last year, I think, because Marvel did their own little press release convention thing instead of at Comic-Con. They didn't go to Comic-Con. They did it on their own,
Right.
and they announced like the next like 5 years of Marvel movies, and I went, oh, fuck. Like I was so burnt out.
And it's just like,
Like,
there's more.
and I can't keep up with it. And there's too
Ugh,
much.
There's a lot. There's gonna be a lot. I mean,
yeah.
Let's fucking do this. Let's go. I'll be exact opposite. They showed me those 5
No.
years. I'm like, fuck right. Let's go.
And then I'm like, well, that's the next 5 years of my life. Glad you guys have that planned out. Thanks.
yeah. See, the way I feel for me is like it's a sense of fuck yeah, but god damn it, this is gonna fuck up so many other things that I want to do for the next 5 years for sure. Like this is just going to consume entirely too much time.
It's true.
But fuck yeah.
I mean, they showed the chart with the movies and the TV shows. That's what I was just like, I don't know if I can handle all this. But you know what?
You know
I'm
what?
going to.
I'm gonna certainly fucking
It's
try.
gonna happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. I have nothing else to say about Iron Fist, that's for sure. I could say more about Rick and Morty.
Okay, so the question about Iron Fist is, as mediocre as it is, because it's not inherently like. No, it is. That's not fair. I was gonna say it's not inherently awful, but it kind of is. It's watchable. You just can't have high expectations. It's mediocre.
I'm curious. What's the
It
rating
is.
out of 10? What does everybody here give it?
Like a 3, maybe. Comparatively to the rest, definitely low.
Oh yeah, no. It can be compared to the rest. I think this might be like a 2.
On its own, like
So,
a
like just as a TV show.
like a
A soft 5.
yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah.
this is the quintessential 5.
Yeah, it is. It's middle of the road, just kind of.
Eh.
It's there.
It would
there
be
are
a 4,
moments
but
that
Marvel
are cool.
gave it that +1 bump. Was like,
Yeah.
yo, you know he's gonna be
Like you know,
calm down.
when he cuts off his pinky or his hand rather to show that he'd been like attacked or whatever, or I can't remember if it was just the pinky or the hand. This is how little I care about the show. But that moment was cool for like that moment, and then again, like I don't even remember. Was it a pinky? Was it a hand? I don't even know. Was he walking around with one hand, or was he walking around with just like less of a digit? I don't fucking remember. I don't remember this show at all. It's so non-memorable and really just.
So that's kind of the thing is, do we really need to watch it to then? I mean, we won't know if we need to watch it to enjoy Defenders until
I
Defenders
hope
comes out.
that they realize
But-
that a lot of people just tuned out and kind of skipped out on this, and that they're just gonna have to like suck it. Like expositional dialogue happens. Suck it up. Get good at writing it. It's
Yeah,
tricky,
'cause it was
but
shitty.
but yeah, no, like it happens. Avoid it where you can, but with a show like The Defenders, you're gonna have some. It's going to happen. Even if you covered everything in all those other shows, you need to throw a bone a little bit.
You know, speaking of Defenders, did you guys see the little promo
I did.
that they put out?
That was pretty cool.
That gave me hope. Like, maybe.
I think Defenders will be good. I think I've actually
Because
got
you
high
got
hope
the
for
other
Defenders.
3 that are gonna carry a lot of it.
Right, and like maybe I'm just reading too much into the promo, but I kind of get the feeling that Jessica is going to kind of lead this bunch.
That's what it kind of felt like, or at least she's capable of handling situations.
I really want her to be the leader. Like, I don't know,
That-
like I'm not even about that, but yeah.
Like, no, well, I mean, because she is so, like, not qualified to be a leader of anything.
Right.
And yet,
Yeah.
you get all of them together and you look, okay, well, who's calling the... Jess.
Yeah.
Like, just
Kinda obviously
totally, because everyone else would sit there and hesitate for even, like, 3 minutes, and then she'd be like, I'm just going to do this thing. You guys can back me up on this, or you cannot, but it's going to happen. And then she'd be just in the leadership role.
Yeah.
So it kind of just works, I feel like, and I think it would be awesome to see her develop leadership skills because she has to. Because
Reluctant
she's
leader.
yes, the reluctant leaders are the best leaders,
They
by
are.
the way.
Oh god, yes.
Absolutely.
Part of me wants her to be the leader because it looks like it's gonna be fucking awesome, and 2, I have a dream of like when Marvel gets their shit together, all the groups come together for this one moment in a fucking movie where the leader of each group gets together to formulate a plan with all the groups, and just seeing Jessica, Star-Lord, and Captain America try and pull shit
Oh,
together.
shit. Hell
Like,
no.
I'm like,
That would be like the worst nothing would get done.
Oh my god, no. Okay, that's the scene that you put Ryan Reynolds
Yes.
doing the chimichanga.
Just sitting in the
background,
just
just eating it.
and
just-
watching, because Star-Lord would piss Cap off too much, and then Jessica would do the same thing that she does with that we assume she's gonna do with Defenders, be like, "Fuck it, I'm doing this. Back me up or not. See ya, fuckers."
Yep.
And she would just disappear into the crowd and be like, "Bye. Come if you don't."
Like, and this is the
Oh,
and
that
that's
would
like
be
the
so
perfect
cool.
and that's like the perfect moment for like just like then like the last one standing there like, just turns around to Reynolds just like, so we're gonna die.
I just want Jessica Jones to interact with other people. That's all I want.
No, the studios need to start communicating and talking and being friendly. Like, get over it, okay? People went over people's heads that maybe shouldn't have happened, and maybe other people should have like financed things the way that they should have been financed in the first place.
Yes.
Whatever. Everybody get the fuck over it, okay? Because your fans want to see your goddamn heroes interact. If
I
that's
want to
too much
see
ask,
Jessica steal shit from S.H.I.E.L.D.
God.
I want S.H.I.E.L.D. to come in to the Netflix universe to put everybody on the index.
Yeah.
Put them in check. How fucking great would that be? How fucking great would that be?
It would be
S.H.I.E.L.D.
phenomenal.
hunting down the Punisher? Yes?
Well, I don't know they hunt on the Punisher. He wouldn't be on the index.
No, not to put him on the index. Just to
Just to
stop
get him
him.
to stop. Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
okay,
You gotta
S.H.I.E.L.D.
think about it. The cops, they can't do it.
S.H.I.E.L.D. might try to recruit him, though.
Yes?
Lex is like, whatever.
Are you fucking kidding me? God damn it.
Okay, fine. I guess that's actually really not a deal breaker at all. That's on.
Your worst case scenario is more awesome than my best case scenario.
I wasn't saying it was the worst case. I'm just saying they probably wouldn't be interested in hunting him down. They might be interested in recruiting him as an asset, though.
Yeah.
Like that alone would be pretty interesting. Also, I would love to see the Punisher and Ghost Rider like just hanging out, like
Oh, Lord.
just
Fund it.
and then get this new Ghost Rider actually doing like some ridiculous rated R shit with the Punisher, like just like ripping people's spines out Mortal Kombat style and shit.
Yeah.
Like
just-
trains, planes, and automobiles, except brutal.
Wait, hang on. You're gonna have to walk me through this analogy really quick.
No, there's a movie.
No, I know the movie.
But it's just
So
two
just
guys road tripping,
Vengeance
killing
road
bad
trip.
guys.
Okay.
Vigilante road trip.
Okay, I get. Yeah, all right. I see.
They stop at the nearest Waffle House, murder a rapist. Like, it's great times.
Oh my god. You know, and come to think of it, Punisher would love Ghost Rider because Ghost Rider knows who guilty people are and shit. Like, he
Right.
can kind of like feel like their guilt on them and shit. And it's like, hey, him, sweet, let's fuck him up.
Oh my god.
That'd be good. That'd be excellent. And I'm still serious about, I hope there's another 80 minutes of Logan in rage mode, fucking just like murking people in the woods. Oh, please let that be a thing. 20 minutes. Okay, I'll take any more film that you have of him fucking people up.
I hated the 20th Century Fox, like, mutant world. But I agree with you on that. Like, I'm on board for the X-Men universe because of Logan and because of Legion. Like, you just not gonna talk about it, I don't think, but you know.
I need to watch that. I need to watch that still,
You
but I've
need
heard
to
it's
fucking-
really good. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm shutting up.
All right. So ultimately, watch Iron Fist if you want. We're gonna pray that like you don't have to
or
watch
don't.
it to do
Drink
Defenders.
during
Like,
it.
This is America. Do what you want.
yeah, you know, synopsis that shit. Honestly, like synopsis that shit and find out whether or not it sounds like something that you'd, because there's nothing worth like that's so great that like it being ruined for you is a problem. Like trust me, there's no great ultimate surprise that's gonna be like, whoa, how could you like ruin that? No, it's just not there. So that being the case, read a synopsis, see if you feel like that's some kind of train wreck garbage that you really want to sit through, and
The stale,
and go for
unsalted
it.
crackers of TV shows.
The mediocre train wreck that is this show. It's the perfect way to phrase it.
You heard the more I think about it, it's just like, oh, it's a train wreck. Oh.
Oh, it's not even that good of a train
Nobody
wreck.
even died.
No. It's not even that good of a train wreck.
But yeah, that's pretty much Iron Fist. We got bored enough with it. We talked about other shit.
Yeah.
So
That'll tell you
that's
enough.
what we think of Iron Fist. This has been the Geek for All. I'm not sure what we're gonna be back with here in a couple weeks, but we'll be back with something. You all have yourselves a good evening.
Iron Fist.
No.
Absolutely.
The music for the Geek for All show has been provided by Fat Street Beats, Ben Sound, and Purple Planet. Please support their individual pages.